Hi everyone, welcome to Monica's Singapore Kitchen. Today I'll be baking Tau Sar Piah, which is Hokkien for mung bean biscuits. There are many famous Tau Sar Piah shops in Penang selling this legendary flaky pastry biscuits filled with sweet and savory mung bean paste. We always return from Penang laden with boxes of Tau Sar Piah as souvenirs. Let's make our own Tau Sar Piah today. We'll start off by making the filling. Here I have 350 grams of mung beans. I have washed it 3 times and soaked it overnight. You can see that it is a little bit bigger, double in size after soaking. So we need to drain it. So get rid of the water, the soaking water. And then we need to transfer this onto a steaming plate. So spread it out so that it cooks evenly. So then transfer it to a steamer, and our plan is to steam it for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes later, we can test and see whether it is cooked. Gently press it and you can see that it is soft and crumbly. So that tells us that it is ready. So I normally blend it using our food processor. However, if you do not have a food processor, don't worry, you can use the back of a ladle or the back of a spatula. So add caster sugar, brown sugar, white pepper and salt, and also oil. So pour all the oil in. Okay, let's blend our mung bean to form a paste. Okay, so now you can see that our paste is fine, silky, and a little bit creamy. So this is the texture that I'm trying to achieve. So we transfer this to a non-stick pan, and our plan is to stir fry it for about 5 to 10 minutes over medium heat. So before we do that, we must remember to add about 3 tablespoons of fried shallots. So this is the one that I just bought it from the supermarket already. So you continue to fry it until it is a little bit dry, crumbly, but they are able to stick together, something like this. So once this is achieved, transfer it to a container to cool it. Now let's move on to make the pastry dough. We'll start off by making the water dough. So for the water dough, we need plain flour, we need icing sugar, all vegetable shortening. So this, if you do not want to use shortening, you can replace it with ghee or lard in a 1:1 substitution. So mine is the all vegetable shortening. So incorporate the shortening into the flour using the rubbing in method. Just use your fingertips and rub it in. So once it's sandy and crumbly like this, then we can add water. Okay, mix the water in. And then we need to gather the loose crumbs to form a dough. So I'm going in with my hand. Okay, just gather the loose crumbs. So eventually the crumbs will all stick together and the bowl will become nice and clean. So it will form a ball. and then transfer it to a surface, and we can then knead it for about 5 minutes to make our dough more elastic so that it does not tear during the rolling process later on. Okay, so it's nice and a bit shiny, the ball. Yep. So then we are going to wrap it with cling wrap to prevent it from drying. Then we need to rest it for 15 minutes. Let's put this aside. Okay, then we move on to the oil dough. The oil dough is very simple, only 2 ingredients, namely the plain flour and our all vegetable shortening. So using our fingertips, using the same rubbing in method, incorporate the shortening into the flour. So then it will form a crumbly texture like that. So press the crumbs together and then press it into a ball. And transfer this ball onto the cling wrap, and we need to wrap it to prevent it from drying out and also rest it for 15 minutes. Let's put this aside. So while our 2 doughs are resting, let's go ahead and divide our filling into 12 portions. I will be making 12 of this pastry. So the weight is about 80 grams. So if you want to make smaller ones, you divide it into 24 portions, each will be 40 grams. So here I'm just making 12 large Tau Sar Piahs. So our water dough has been resting for 15 minutes, so we are ready to cut it into pieces. So roll it into a log and cut it into 12 pieces. Each piece is about 28 grams. So take each piece and then roll it into a sphere. So do the same for all the others until you reach the last water dough sphere. Cover it with cling wrap. Now our oil dough has also been resting for approximately 15 minutes, so it's ready for forming, to sort of form it into small little spheres. So press it into 2 logs, so it's easier to work with 2 smaller logs. So then we are going to divide those 2 logs into 12 pieces. Each piece will be about 14 grams. Okay, and roll each piece into a sphere. Okay, do the same for all the other pieces until you reach the last piece. So take the first water dough, gently press it into a disc, a small disc, and then grab the first corresponding oil dough and wrap the oil dough using the water dough. So seal all the edges together. Okay, so ready, the first one. So do the same for all the other corresponding water and oil dough until you reach the last pair. So take the last oil dough, water dough, this is the last water dough, press it into a small disc, and then take the last oil dough and wrap it with the water dough. Okay, so all our 12 large balls are formed. So okay, so we are going to take the first sphere and then gently press it flat. Then using a dusted rolling pin, roll out into a tongue, shape of approximately a tongue, of approximately 18 cm long. So we roll up and down to spread the oil dough evenly within the water dough. So roll it into a cylinder, turn it 90 degrees, flatten it, and do the same thing, but this time round you roll it a bit longer to about 25 cm. So again, center up, center down. So once you reach about 25 cm, roll it up into a cylinder. And you should have about 2 to 3 complete spirals. Okay, and then we are going to put this aside. Do the same for all the others until you reach the last piece. So here we go. This is my last spiral cylinder. Okay, so now it's highly recommended that we rest our spiral cylinders for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes later, take the first spiral cylinder and then gently, fold the two ends of the cylinder upwards and inwards. Then press it into a disc. Then with a dusted rolling pin, roll it out into a circle of approximate diameter 20 cm, making sure that the edges are thinner than the center. Okay, so now we will wrap the filling using our dough. So slowly ease the dough inwards to encase the filling. So press the filling gently and then fold the ends or the sides together until they meet. And then pinch these sides together to making sure that it's pinched nicely and covered all the edges. Okay, then shape it. Make sure that it's nice and round and press it into a hefty disc like this. Put it on a baking tray until you do the same for all the others until you reach the last one. Then preheat the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. So 20 minutes later, take it out, and then we are going to subject our pastry to 2 rounds of egg wash. Sprinkle with toasted sesame seeds. You can use the white sesame seeds or you can also use the black ones or a combination. It's up to you. Then transfer it back to the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for another 20 minutes. So then our pastry, Tau Sar Piahs, are ready. Now they smell so good. They are best enjoyed while still warm or at room temperature. Nice golden color. I love the color. Let's take a look at one. Look at the layers of flaky skin and the generous amount of filling, thick and decadent. It is not overly sweet, just a good balance. This delicious snack is best paired with a cup of coffee or tea. Enjoy it slowly to savor history and tradition with every bite. Do give this recipe a try if you have time. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, happy cooking!